So this scene was a full-time job to animate. It took forever. However, I'm very happy with how the final turned out. Since there's a lot of kind of pieces, I will start with the background and then I'll go into the animation of the feet walking across the screen. Since Get Together is an interactive game, I wanted to play with the idea of gamification with buttons, creative use of line and shape, along with illuminating elements. In my initial drawing, I didn't have these things, but I decided to experiment within Illustrator. In this process, there was a lot of trial and error as I tested out new design concepts to see what looked best. After a lot of experimentation, I finally came up with a design that I was really happy with. Now, getting into the animation of the background was a full-time job, to say the least. Since there was so many design elements, I worked in pre-compositions so I could focus on the animation in sections. One important thing to mention about this scene is that there is a ping pong ball introduced that connects this scene to the next one. I decided to have a ball travel from screen right to left and become visible and not visible by traveling through shapes in the background. This adds some additional visual interest and allows the viewer's eye to focus in on something. The last point that is important to address is the addition of the flickering text. I created this look by using hold keyframes and having the opacity at either 100 or 0%. I also added a glow effect here to add to the neon aesthetic. Moving into the motion of the feet walking across the screen, I first started with hold keyframes. This was just to get an idea of timing and pacing of the feet walking. From that point, I actually recorded myself walking to have a visual reference of what it looks like. I put this in After Effects just so I had it side by side and I could reference it whenever I needed. From here, I changed the hold keyframes into regular keyframes, went into the graph editor, and did a few things in there just to make the motion a little bit more smoother because at the start, the movement was very choppy. One additional note to mention here is I did add an auto Bezier, which just smoothed out the movement of the walking even further, which the walk cycle really needed. After I was done animating the feet walking across screen, I could then add that pre-composition into my finalized composition and have it over top of my background. Once I was done creating the background, I made one of those oval shapes into a mask so that when it got bigger on screen, the next scene would be visible. And that was kind of like my transition into the next scene.